Well, great afternoon, everyone. Oh my goodness. Well, I had a Mooji cult member, the one that did a video of a satsang of his. I showed a flash of his picture, and so they had my video removed for copyright issues for less than a half a second of a public figure's photo. So I re-recorded it, took that part out, so there's nothing, no copyright there that they can come after me for, and I am putting it up again. Okay, now I wanted to look also, because Mooji says he is a follower and that he is in the lineage of Ramana Maharishi. Now, Ramana, if you read any of the things that Ramana has said, he has said that Kundalini must be awakened before one can reach realization. Must be. And what does Mooji say? Kundalini's child's play. It's nothing. Okay? Because he knows nothing of Kundalini. So I want to see what's it say on that issue with Mooji. It's about opportunity. Okay. Kundalini is an opportunity to move forward. But of course, you know, when you stay stuck in that first bliss of the heart opening, it can seem so expanded, but there is so much more to go. Okay, so what's above it? Yeah, the time. This is the path that one walks, that must be opened before realization. Okay, so if he is such a proponent of Maharishi, okay, Ramana, but yet what Ramana says is, Ramana doesn't know anything. I know more than Ramana. I don't think so. Okay? This is about the family. This is about the way. Okay? Going into it. The history. Look at the history of what Ramana has said and what needs to be held on to. The information that is viable, that is of import. Okay? Because otherwise you are out of the cold. You are outside of this tradition. In this, you know, you see the church, but somebody that doesn't have the fullness in Christianity would be called the Holy Spirit. When the Holy Spirit came through the church, what happened? They had the fire above the head. Okay? There was that awakening, enlivening that took place. Okay? Without that, you are outside. Okay? Underneath of it. This is the sacrifice. Part of it is the sacrifice and seeing from a different viewpoint. That's part of the Kundalini journey, is surrender, surrender, surrender. Sacrificing the self, the ego self, in that journey to completion, to enlightenment, to nirvana, which means blown out. Okay? And that's what happens. Okay? The challenge is this new energy, the awakening of, what's that word he hates? Kundalini. Okay? For the long term. For long-term benefit. Above it, one has to go within. It's not about seeing the external world. It's about going within and making that journey. Okay? And that's the message. The message is about going beyond the mind play. Going beyond it to what? Victory. Okay? The victory. Because otherwise, one is caught in confusion, caught in that mental restriction. So Kundalini is that which goes forward, okay? Yes, it's a difficult path. You may feel on the edge, and you have to continue to work at things and understand the message of daily life. It's about that taking charge and going forward, and this is what is awakened, okay? It's awakened, what's birthed, okay? That keeps giving, that keeps giving you to go on the path to realization, okay? So when you want to poo-poo something, and Kundalini is it's the life force. It is basically the concentrated life force, okay? So he can poo-poo it all he wants, but again, if you read Ramana, and I will go ahead and see where exactly that is located, in what book, where he says it, on what date, in what satsang that it is said. I will leave that in the description. I've just got to find where it's at again. But yes, that's what Ramana has stated 100%. It's not an easy journey. It is through Kundalini is a tough journey. My awakening happened when I was in an esoteric Christian order. Kundalini woke up, and I can tell you the time it happened. It was about a 4-inch gold light that bolted me to the floor, like this. And it woke. And then it was a 30-year journey. And why is Kali? Kali is Kundalini. Kali is time. Why does she look so fearsome? Because you have to face your fears. And what is that energy? What did she do? She fought all the demons. And what were the demons? All these thoughts, all these dramas, okay? And if you understand the 10 Mahavidyas, each one had a different thing to do. Like one of them you had was a Chamundi. I have to remember now. But she would open her mouth when you would cut the head off this one demon, all the blood will come out. Yes, I know it sounds gory, but there is a reason that it's said this way. That each drop of blood would create another thought, would create another demonic happening. And so it was getting rid of the thoughts before they had a chance to manifest and create even more. Okay, so it's a very deep understanding if you understand what is Kundalini and what is the journey. Okay, what is the journey? But when you have somebody that proposes that they are a realized being, and yet they have no knowledge of Kundalini whatsoever, they want to claim that they are, a disciple of Ramana in that lineage, which Ramana really never had a lineage, okay, per se. And then you want to absolutely go counter to what Ramana, one of the greatest sages that ever lived, says, something to be looked at. So I'm going to go find that so I can give you exactly the name of where it is found. But 100% Ramana says Kundalini must be awakened before realization can take place. Okay? Because realization is not just that expanse into the heart center. That comes early in the journey, as I've stated before. But you can want to think that you are completed at that time because it feels so expansive. Okay? And that's where a lot of people have this mistaken notion. You want to think you're completed, but you have just begun the journey at that point. So on that note, I'm going to leave that here. Go find where exactly that is so you can find that quote for yourself. And what I had to take out of my video was that one of Mooji's cult members took a video of him giving satsang, and because I showed one snippet of a picture of him from that video, he had my video taken down for copyright infringement. What is I so afraid of in my video? What is I so fearful of in my video? Okay. There's no more image in here. So there's nothing that they can claim for copyright and take this down. So on that note, I'll leave that here and we'll see you online. Okay, I decided just to put this up here instead of just putting it in the description so you can see it for yourself. Talks with Sri Ramana Maharishi. And if you look on page 373, talk number 392, Swami Lokasananda continued another series of questions. They say that Kundalini must be aroused before realization and that its awakening makes the body feel hot. Is that so? And Ramana says the yogis call it Kundalini Shakti. It is the same as Vritti, the form of God. Bhagavatakara Vritti of the Bhaktas and Vritti of the form of Brahman. Brahmakara Vritti of the Jnanis. It must be preliminary to realization. What does it say? Does it say it's not needed, it's bogus, it's nothing? No, he says it must be preliminary to realization. The sensation produced may be said to be hot. Kundalini is said to be of the shape of a serpent, but vrittis cannot be so. The Kundalini of Jnanamarg is said to be in the heart, which also is described in various ways as a network of nadis of the shape of a serpent, of a lotus bud, etc. Is this heart the same as the physiological heart? No. Sri Ramana Gita defines it as the origin of the I thought. So then he goes on from that point. But the point of this is Kundalini, yes, must be awakened before realization may take place. Get those that will have a gathering around them. They get abusive. There's no more light in their eyes, but they've got a following of a cult. That's what happens. Okay. So this is not a reading that I want to do because you can see the light is totally gone in his eyes. There is nothing there anymore. Whatever he had before, it wasn't realization. Okay? Wasn't realization. He's not a realized master. Okay? No, he's a tired, angry, sullen person now. So let me see what we have in the reading. Very sad to see, because it used to be, I don't know if he's doing drugs or whatever, but something is going on with him. Having sex with all these young girls and people just, It's not good. Not good at all. There's nothing I hate worse than to see someone that's set up as a spiritual teacher that claims to be realized and, oh, you're already that, there's nothing to get, there's nowhere to go, And then they start having people to depend on them, and they set up this codependency situation, and you've got like lambs to the slaughter. Then these guys get full of themselves, they're not happy, and then they start really torturing people. And this is why I never made a physical ashram or any of that, because people have to walk their path where they're at. Okay? You can't depend on somebody to give it to you. I cannot hand it to you. There is no magic pill. This is something that you have to do by yourself. And when you get an ashram setting, then you get people come there that want to be taken care of. They don't want to do anything. Or you get people there that want this power. They get power hungry, okay? None of those things are beneficial to a spiritual path, okay? So, let's see what we have. Okay. We start at the center of it. Yeah. He started out as a peaceful warrior going forward, but then there was a change. Okay. And what was the change? Coming back with this arrogance, victorious. That's a very arrogant look there. Okay. So he started out basically okay, but then there was a change to this arrogance. To an arrogance. Going into it, a shadow has been following him behind it. Fear-based shadow. The sanctuary, what's the sanctuary? What he's giving. Okay? He's teaching this dependency okay, a shadow self. Behind it, he's not what he appears to be. That is not that shadow self that's going on behind the scenes of the sanctuary, and he's giving all these nice words and, oh, come to me and I'm fabulous, but behind it, this is what we've got. Not what I want for a guru. Is this what you want? This is what he's presenting to the world. I'm a sanctuary. I'm giving all these flowery words. I'm giving, but behind the scenes, it's a mask. He's wearing a mask now. And you look at his eyes and you look at this. Look at his eyes now and look at this. Okay? Enough said. Okay. He used to be very bhakti. He used to have that light in his eyes. You could see he was very absorbed. And this is what happens. I'm glad this came up, because it's like I said, it's very easy to get to that first step where you have that blossoming of the heart and you get that overwhelming bliss, and people think they're done. They've just begun the journey. So that's what he was radiating, that feeling of oneness, that starting feeling of connectedness, and it's very overwhelming, blissful, okay? But eventually, if one doesn't keep going forward, one doesn't keep surrendering in the path on the way, then you can get what happened with him. You know, this was a facade. He wasn't done. He wasn't completed. Okay? Behind the scenes, underneath of it all, was something far different than what he was displaying. What we have here is talking about the creation, okay? Compassion, surrendering into creation, but then you gain the world. But that's not the way it works. You don't come out like this. Look at this, gaining the world. It's very arrogant. That's not what happens. You don't gain the world, okay? In creation, this is more like bow down to Satan and you gain the world. Okay, that's what Satan said. Bow down to me and I'll give you the world. I'll give you everything in manifestation. Then you get this arrogancy. Because in genuine, you know, it's not about what's being created. It's about going prior to creation, to going to Para Brahman, not going to, you know, that which is already seen, and gaining this arrogance. Okay. Let's see what we have next. Guardian. He's supposed to have a role of a guardian, nature, communing with nature. But we have here is the one looking for the ship to come in. Okay? This is still waiting for the ship to come in. He's not completed, not by any means. Okay? He's presenting as if he's a guardian, he's in touch with nature, he's in flow, but no. Looking for the money, waiting for my ship to come in. Not there. He's not there. That's why he keeps looking over his shoulder. We got the one looking over the shoulder. Okay? Last but not least, going forward, faith. He used to have faith. You could see it in his eyes. He was on a path of bhakti. He was on the high for a while. But he didn't follow through. He became arrogant. He released his faith. Okay? He released his faith. He let go of his faith. And instead he got this energy of just trying to connect people. Okay? He didn't go beyond. Now he's just looking for people that he can grasp, pull in, draw in to his web. Okay? Because as far as his faith is concerned, he released it. He let go of it. I let go of my faith. He fell. And he fell hard. And if you look at his old pictures and you look at his picture now, it's very clear. There is no light in those eyes. So what they're saying in that report, I would have to say it's true. Yeah. And this to me is very sad. I've never been a big Mooji supporter. Never. It's again another one of those, there's nowhere to get, there's nothing that, just this nonsense, not giving a genuine path forward, not giving a way and talking about the difficulty of the path going forward. And it's about surrendering, not surrendering to him, but surrendering within to the great eternal. People are going there and surrendering to him, putting him on a pedestal, worshiping him. That I don't let people come here and worship me. I have Indian students that come and, I don't give retreats anymore because I don't want that. This is not what it's supposed to be. What I am, you are. That kernel that is in here, that's been, the ego's been imploded into that, you have the same thing there. And when you put someone on a pedestal, then you deny what is within yourself. I have some students, Indian, when you have students from India, they want to do a full pranam, when they see you. I mean, flat down face on the floor. Get up, don't do that. Okay? Don't do that. Stop already, And to me, it's a big flag when I have somebody that says, oh, Guruji, I want to come and sit at your feet. I want to sit and worship you. Then they're looking for something else. They're not genuinely looking for a path. They're looking for something to abdicate their responsibilities. They're not fit for the path. Okay? Because the path is something you have to walk yourself. The mystic's journey, all of these things arise because what you should be pulling you is that want to know God above all things. Not to know a personage, but the way forward, wanting to know what is God above all things more than your next breath, and you have to want it that much to really go forward to realization. You have to want to know God more than you want success in the world, more than you want your next bite of food, more than your next breath of air. That's what it takes. Okay, and surrendering into that, observing, okay? There is a way forward. But like I tell all my students, you have to walk it. I cannot walk it for you. It is your journey. If you come and ask me what to do, don't ask me. You have to live with the consequences of your actions. Okay? I try to give the spiritual path according to the real world, what it genuinely takes. I'm not up there to perform. I'm not up there to entertain. I'm not up there to have a big following that wants to cling on my skirt. Okay? Those are, when you see these so-called gurus that have big followings like that, then they're in ego identification, and that's what they want, somebody to pump up their ego. That's not a genuine spiritual teacher. Somebody that needs a big following to pump up their ego. Okay? So I'm going to leave this here. Thank you for your question. This was a sad reading to have to do. But again, if you are connected at all with energy, all you have to do is look at his photos from years ago, where you could see that light of bhakti, you could see that bliss that he was engulfed in. And while it seemed very prevalent, it was very, people could actually feel it, you could be drawn into it. But again, that was that first blossoming of that heart opening. You know, it's called that moment of God realization. Now, God realization and self-realization are two separate things. You can have God realization very, very early in the journey. You know, for me, it was God realization. I was in the midst of, looking at Krishna. So everything was Krishna. Everything was this divine love and dance in motion. You're not anywhere near realization yet. You're just seeing that magnanimous flowering of that divine beingness in everything, and feeling that first connection, feeling that overwhelming bliss, overwhelming love. When you get to the heart center, these things flower. But you still have here to go, you still have here to go, you still have much more left to traverse. Okay? And if you stay stuck here and you lose that higher awareness, then you become very egotistical and you will use and abuse people. Okay? So I'm going to leave this here. Thank you for your question. I hope this has cleared up some things for you. I'll probably get a lot of hate mail for this one, but such is the way that it is. You know, if you're going to be a spiritual teacher, you have to face the fire. That's it. You know, that's part of the journey. You're not going to make everyone happy, especially when you're talking about someone that's being set up as a spiritual teacher, and they've got a lot of followers that want to believe what they're spinning is real and genuine. And when you confront them and say it's not real, it's not genuine, they've fallen, you trust me, you get a lot of hate mail. You get very unhappy people, you know. But I'm not here to make everybody happy. I'm here to give the truth, what I know as I know it, according to the journey that I walked for 40 plus years this lifetime and many lifetimes before. Okay, so we'll leave this here.